Wow, a very good evening to you wherever you are, and welcome to the show, Sports Show on Fozan Haru channel. If you are new um, on today's show, please do well to do one thing for me. Touch the subscribe button and touch the notification bell, and then share the program. Do well to also give it a thumbs up if you enjoy it at the end of the show. Today we are going to talk about unfortunately the thrashing that Chelsea got at the hands of the thrashing that we got yesterday at the hands of Sheffield United at the Bramall Lane. And you could see that all of us are sad, irrespective of the fact that today I'm in white, and white signifies happiness. I'm not happy. It's just coincidental that this is the attire for the show for today, as I'm recording upstairs of my house, one of my bedrooms to be precise. And today I'm going to look at the shambolic display of Chelsea players at the Bramall Lane. And for some time now, I've been saying that Chelsea's defense is shambolic. Even when we won matches, I've complained about our defense and the on and off performances that our players do give us. On in terms of maybe a player will give good performance today, and the next game he will be disaster. And you saw it in our defense, our leaky defense. And I've said time and time again that Frank Lampard should go in for a goalkeeper, a new goalkeeper, one top central defender, and probably one or two left fullback for us to build and come back strongly if we want to challenge Liverpool and Manchester City. Even Manchester United is coming up strongly. And currently Leicester is playing. As at the time I checked, it was 0-0 against Bournemouth. And should they win, even if it stayed draw, Leicester will overtake Chelsea on the league table back to their third slot, while Chelsea will go to fourth. And pending the Manchester United match tomorrow, which probably United will win for us to go to fifth. So that's the kind of situation that we find ourselves in. And always I've been complaining about performances. Even in some games you could see that we win matches, and still I do complain about our performance. And yet it manifested adequately in our match against Sheffield United, in which they gave us a 3-0 thrashing. And once again, later on we're going to look at some statistics. The match, as you are aware, ended 3-0 in favor of Leicester City. A brace from David McGoldrick, and then Oliver McBurney scored the other goal in the 33rd minute of the match. Chelsea unfortunately were blank in that game. We couldn't get a goal. And let me quickly look at the lineup that was on display at the Bramall Lane on the side of Chelsea. We have Kepa Arrizabalaga in post, Aspilicueta still at the left fullback position, Reece James at the right fullback position. We have Kurt Zouma and Christensen. And Christensen was disastrous once again. And for the second goal, he should have challenged, I think, Oliver McBurney for the header, but he was nowhere to be found. Zouma wanted to come in and give him an assistant, but it was too late for Zouma to also help Christensen. But the slot there was for Christensen to, was the defending position of Christensen to maximize effectively, but he failed to do so. Zouma came in late for him. Unfortunately, he couldn't stop that goal from going in. And then we had Mount, Jorginho, and then Ross Barkley in midfield. Pulisic, Abraham, and then William. For some time now, ever since we emerged from the COVID-19 break back onto the field, Tammy Abraham has been disastrous. He's not doing that much. He's been disastrous for the game, and so he's not helping us. Yesterday, to put in a shambolic performance, be that as it may, he's a young chap. I think we'll have to still exercise patience with him, but we exercise patience with him in these difficult times that we are battling for top 4. You can imagine. And again, there were some statistics on display And let me look at individual performances. Kepa once again was disastrous. The first goal, and then he had to, instead of him to punch the ball and put it sideways, it reminded me of Peter Cech. How Peter Cech sometimes, when the shot comes, he punches the ball sideways. But Kepa Arrizabalaga punched the ball back into play for David McGoldrick to also chip in the ball in there for the first goal for Sheffield United. If he had punched the ball sideways, the first goal probably wouldn't have resulted in that McGoldrick capitalizing on that error once again. Kepa once again was disastrous there. And then he made so many mistakes. His control of the ball and kicking it up front, I've complained for some time now that it's not the best. And also Zuma did well, but because we lost 3-0, you wouldn't count so much positive for him. Normally when players go into the field and lose a match, irrespective of the fact that whether there is one or two persons who did well, you wouldn't count them that much. Zuma, Pulisic, I think they did well, but because we lost 3-0, that they doing well is what? Null and void, because what we want is a positive outcome which will give us 3 points. And since we lost the game, doing well is not acceptable for all of the players, irrespective of whether you did well better than the others or not. Christensen was disastrous. The second goal, instead of him to put in an aerial challenge, he allowed Oliver McBurney to get a free header to score Chelsea. I've complained of his aerial strength for some time now, that he's been shambolic and disastrous. He can't head and challenge the ball defensive slot. Always our opponents seem to exploit that weakness in that part of our game, that they know that Christensen cannot challenge in the air, so they float the ball upwards, upfield, for their attackers to come in with their heads and head in and get results, because they know Christensen cannot head. It's only Zuma who has area potency, and when the ball passes Zuma, the opponents have freedom to slot in the ball into the post of Chelsea. And that was what happened in the second goal for that matter. And then Reece James, he did well, he put in some crosses, but because as I said, we lost, you wouldn't count so much positive for him. And then let's go to the midfield. Mason Mount, Jorginho, and then Barkley. Jorginho at the initial part of the game was doing well, swinging in the passes, but later on he faded out. Mason Mount too in this game didn't see them so much of a good performance. Ross Barkley too, the shots were not coming. Pulisic was again one of our brightest spots in this game, but unfortunately Frank Lampard substituted him in the second half and brought on Olivier Giroud instead of Lampard to substitute Tammy Abraham, who was a mere passenger in the game. Christian Pulisic was the only player who can take on defenders. All the other players who give sideways passes, unnecessary sideways passes. That has been the bane of Chelsea in the season so far. They're giving off unnecessary sideways passes. That has been our bane during the course of the season, and so I don't see why he substituted Christian Pulisic. Instead of him to maintain him, he substituted him. And that is, he is the only player who can take on defenders. And then Tammy Abraham was a mere passenger. Willian didn't see so much action in this game. Let's look at some few statistics before we end today's show. Sheffield had 4 shots on target, and out of the 4 shots on target, they scored 3 goals. Yet again in this game, shot to save ratio of Kepa Arrizabalaga has been badly exposed. 75% poor. He did 25% good. Meaning, despite the fact that our players did block some shots for him, our players blocked some shots for him. I think, they did a little block of some shots for him. And all the shots that came onto him, 4 shots, almost all entered the net. And then Chelsea had 4 shots at target, and Henderson, the goalkeeper of Sheffield United did excellently well to defend and catch all the ball. And then the most of our my concern is Chelsea players do tend to pass the ball sideways instead of them to approach the yard or the position, now the scoring position of the opponent. They tend to give the passes sideways, which is unnecessarily and useless. Hence, it was exhibited in this game. We were passing the ball sideways instead of us to concentrate and pass the ball up front. We were doing it sideways and giving so much of back pass to Kepa Arrizabalaga, who is not confident on the ball. We tend to give him so much back pass, and he is not confident on the ball. Why do we tend to put the balls at the back? Sometimes we give so much back passes, which is unnecessary, right? That is costing us. You know the keeper is not good, and we tend to give him back passes, which I don't like at all. So we were exposed once again. And Lampard should go in the transfer market and go get a good goalkeeper, a solid central defender, as well as one potent left fullback, before we can confidently say we're going to challenge in the next season. Other than that, we're going to make the biggest mistakes of our life, repetition of mistakes. And news coming in indicates that Frank Lampard is considering signing a goalkeeper from Trabzonspor in Turkey. Let's hope that is true, because we need a replacement for Kepa Arrizabalaga to be given effective competition, or for him to be benched because he's not serious at all. We are used to winning trophies, and so when things are not going well at Chelsea, we tend to complain, because that is our nature. We win trophies. So that is what we're talking about. We don't accept mediocrity at Chelsea. So that is the reality of the situation. And I will end the year by thanking you for joining me on the show. Today's show. God richly bless you. And please do also subscribe to the show if you are new on today's show. Share the program as well. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Hope to see you some other day. Thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you for joining me. Bye bye.